How to import assets. There are multiple ways to import assets. This video demonstrates the most common ones. Suppose we just downloaded a model that we want to use in Easy. First, make sure that the model is unpacked. Now in the editor, we need to open the asset browser and navigate to the folder where we want to copy the asset to. The folder that is selected on the left will be the destination. Now drag the asset, or in this case the entire folder with the asset data, over to the asset browser. An asset import window will pop up. It lists all the importable files that you just copied over. It also shows you as what asset type it automatically determined to import your assets. You should review these options and adjust as needed. For example, you may need to change the import method for the mesh if it is supposed to be used as an animated mesh. In this case, we also do not want the textures to be imported separately, since the mesh will already import the textures that it needs. So we change the textures to no import. Once we click Import, the import of the selected assets begins. Different asset types may have additional configuration options. Here we are asked for details on how to import this mesh. This allows us to reuse existing materials or automatically generate levels of details. For more details on the available options, click the Help button. Click OK to proceed. Now the mesh gets imported along with the necessary materials and textures. If you don't see it in the asset browser, navigate to its folder. Dependent assets are put into the subfolder with the data suffix. Now we can open the asset and inspect whether everything is set up correctly. And we can now drag and drop it into scenes. Often we already have assets in our project folder that need to be imported. For example, here I've already copied my robot asset over. To import this, open up the asset browser and navigate to the correct folder. Change the asset type filter to Importable Files, and now you'll see the GLB file. Right-click the file and hover over Import As. This will show you the different ways that this asset could be imported. Here we'll use Animated Mesh. The same Mesh Import Options dialog shows up, though this one has a few additional options. Click OK to proceed. In this case, the import created two assets for us, the animated mesh and a skeleton asset. The skeleton is used to configure the mesh scale and rotation and various options needed for ragdolls. Now we didn't import any animations. To do that now, right-click the GLB file again, go to Import As, and click Animation Clips All. It now asks you to select an animated mesh for preview purposes. This is what we will see in the thumbnails. So select our previously imported robot mesh and continue. As you can see, this now creates a whole bunch of animation clip assets. You are free to move the asset files around or rename them. Just be aware that if you move or rename the source asset file, the editor can't find it anymore. In this case, the asset browser shows an error. The Asset Curator panel shows more details. You can fix the file path in the asset. However, since this can be very time-consuming, it is best not to move or rename source assets once they have been imported. Now you have everything you need to create your scenes.